Haribo, Jai Shri Gauranitai ki, Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to the Sunday feast. Wisst ihr, wo ausschalten? Okay. So we had now a lovely kirtan, and now we will continue with the program. Now we're starting our lecture from Bhagavad Gita, and then at 5 o'clock we have our big vegetarian feast, Prasadam, and 6:15 we have a japa meditation, introduction into the mantra meditation, and followed at 7 o'clock with Gora Arti, and 8 o'clock kirtan till 9:30. So there's a lot of program to immerse yourself, chant and dance and eat prasadam. Is there anyone for the first time here today? Yes? Thank you for coming. You're from? India? Also?
Yes, Lausanne.
Lausanne, French part. Huh? So feel welcome, and if you have any question, always ask. And now we have Divya Simha Prabhu. He will give the lecture. He used to live here in the temple. He served in the management and also many years on the street distribution of books, Sankirtan. And we are very happy that he is here for some days. He actually lives now in Brazil with his wife. And so we will just now continue with the lecture. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, very warm welcome also from my side. Spricht jemand kein Englisch? Okay. Russian? Do you speak English, understand? No. Do we have anyone who understands English and speaks Russian and would like to make a translation?
Normally Dina but he's in the kitchen. I can ask him if he...
I think it would be nice
Yeah.
if there are enough people
Yeah.
in the kitchen, if you could come.
Yeah.
So he's looking for a translation into Russian. Yes? Okay. Otherwise, English is good for everyone. English is für alle gut. Wonderful. Let's continue in English. So it's a great pleasure to be here, to be amongst all of you. And Radha Shyam Prabhu, Hare Krishna, nice to see you too. Please come more to the front if you feel comfortable. Okay. Actually, Radha Shyam, he should sit here and I should sit there, but today we exchange roles. Seeking your blessings. Yes, today's topic is Dharma, and for those who have been already here during the bhajan, I think there was a short explanation about the meaning of Dharma. So we want to explore that further based on the Bhagavad Gita and take something home from this lecture today. I heard it was already asked who is here for the first time. I saw you. Anyone else is here for the first time today? Yes. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Good. We want to start with reading from the Bhagavad Gita, namely from the 3rd chapter, which is entitled Karma Yoga, and there it's text 35. You have a translation in Russian here on the phone. Yes? No? Oh, you speak Russian?
No, but for translation.
No? Okay.
Есть, ну, он пусть выше все равно. 45-й, какой он сказал?
3,35.
Гика или Шиватов?
Bhagavad Gita.
3:35.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sheyan Svadamo Viguna Paradama Svanushtitat. Svadame Nidanam Sheya Paradamo Bhavayava. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faulty, than another's duties perfectly. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties, for to follow another's path is dangerous. Purport. One should therefore discharge his prescribed duties in full Krishna consciousness rather than those prescribed for others. Materially, prescribed duties are duties enjoined according to one's psychophysical condition under the spell of the modes of material nature. Spiritual duties are as ordered by the spiritual master for the transcendental service of Krishna. But whether material or spiritual, one should stick to his prescribed duties even up to death, rather than imitate another's prescribed duties. Duties on the spiritual platform and duties on the material platform may be different, but the principle of following the authorized direction is always good for the performer. When one is under the spell of the modes of material nature, one should follow the prescribed rules for his particular situation and should not imitate others. For example, a brahmana or a priest who is in the mode of goodness is non-violent, whereas a kshatriya, a warrior, who is in the mode of passion is allowed to be violent. As such, for a kshatriya, it is better to be vanquished following the rules of violence than to imitate a brahmana who follows the principles of non-violence. Everyone has to cleanse his heart by a gradual process, not abruptly. However, when one transcends the modes of material nature and is fully situated in Krishna consciousness, he can perform anything and everything under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. In that complete stage of Krishna consciousness, the kshatriya may act as a brahmana, or a brahmana may act as a kshatriya. In the transcendental stage, the distinctions of the material world do not apply. For example, Vishwamitra was originally a kshatriya, but later on he acted as a brahmana, whereas Parshuram was a brahmana, but later on acted as a kshatriya. Being transcendentally situated, they could do so. But as long as one is on the material platform, he must perform his duties according to the modes of material nature. At the same time, he must have a full sense of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Si Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakachatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sachivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parichana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Ati Vindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripe Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So one more time the verse. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faulty, than another's duties perfectly. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties, for to follow another's path is dangerous. Let me start with a short story. Actually, I see there's someone with a translation. Could it be? With a headphone? Now you have. Perfect. Thank you. So let me start with a short story. Once upon a time, the animals of the forest, they organized an Olympics. They wanted to make a competition amongst themselves. And they decided for 5 areas or areas of competition, namely running, swimming, climbing, digging, and flying. And everyone was invited to participate. And so it came that the rabbit, he had the first turn, and he was very good in running. But when it came to the other disciplines, he achieved very poor results. Especially when he tried to fly, everyone was laughing at him and said, "This looks like jumping, this is not really flying." So next, the duck started to participate. And the duck was wonderful at swimming and flying. But when it came to digging, it looked very ridiculous, and everyone started to laugh at the duck. Next, the eagle participated. And you can imagine the eagle, he performed a beautiful flight. But when it was about swimming and climbing, it was not very convincing. Ultimately, the bird joined the challenge. And the bird was about to climb the tree. But for the little bird, this was very difficult. And at one point, the bird just opened his wings and started to fly away. And while flying, he said, "Everyone should do what they are meant to do." So what's the moral of this history, of this story? The message is that everyone must to follow his or her Dharma, one's own unique purpose in life. Because that was what brings life and happiness into one's existence. So what is Dharma? You gave already some explanations today. What is Dharma? Dharma is a universal principle that works in the entire creation. Like everything within existence has a certain constitutional purpose. Let's look at fire. What's the purpose of fire? Any ideas?
Heat, light.
Yeah, fire should give heat and light. What about water? What's the purpose of water?
Cleaning.
Water is cleaning, it's something pure.
Yeah.
What's the form of water?
Liquid.
Water is liquid. It can be ice, it can be steam, but the natural consistence of water is to be liquid, to be wet. And in the same way, all of us, we have a very unique purpose. Like things only we can do and a place only we can fill. And therefore, our life should be something unique, something where we can exhibit, perform on our duty. Now, there's some research which says that 95% of the adult population, they have no purpose in life. They don't have a clear direction, a focus where they invest their time and energy. So therefore, those who pertain to the 5%, they are already the superior achievers in this world. Now, what is that place and how to find it in one's life? And you're going to find many self-help books in this world. If you go to the bookstore, there will be shelves full with personal development, finding your unique purpose, and whatever else you need in life. But today we want to take a different approach. We want to follow the path of Dharma, to follow a universal and timeless principle which connects us with our purpose. The root of the word Dharma is in Dri. Dri means something which holds or maintains. And in the same way, if you are connected with your Dharma, Dharma is what maintains you, what holds you together here in this world. For example, a light bulb, what's the purpose of a light bulb? To give light. Oh, we have here some bulbs. But for this it has to be connected with the powerhouse, with the electricity. In the same way, when we are connected with our Dharma, then we are fully alive, then we can shine, then we can exhibit our purpose. Satchidananda Swami, he gives a very nice definition. I just quote it. He says, following one's Dharma means allowing oneself to unfold positively, based on the particular person that one is, and thereby serving others with one's potential. Dharma means to live in one's potential, to unfold positively, and use that purpose which one has discovered in service to others. How do you feel? Would you be ready for a short exercise? Something reflective? Sorry? Sitting, you can sit comfortable, but at the same time you should be alert, because I'm going to read some text to you, and your job would be to just listen and reflect while you're here. Yeah? So make yourself comfortable, you can take some deep breaths, and if you like, you can also close your eyes, but that's voluntary. Yeah? So just listen attentively while I'm reading. When you are in tune with your Dharma, you feel you lead a meaningful life that totally satisfies you. When you're not in tune with Dharma, you wonder if what you do has any meaning, and you are hardly ever satisfied with the results. When you are in tune with Dharma, you do not just do well in an activity, but you can't imagine not doing it. When you are not in tune with Dharma, you are not sure if you should be doing what you're doing at all. When you are in tune with Dharma, mostly people and circumstances come into your life effortlessly and help you move forward. When you are not in tune with Dharma, most of what you do is a struggle. When you are in tune with Dharma, your gifts and talents come to your aid so that you have the strength to easily accomplish your work. When you're not in tune with Dharma, you seem to accomplish everything only with great effort, and it never seems good enough. When you are in tune with Dharma, you take wise risks and remain confident because you know you will be protected by Dharma. And when you are not in tune with Dharma, most of the time you are afraid that disaster will strike. When you are in tune with Dharma, you are generally in good health, and if illness does come, you can deal with it. When you're not in tune with Dharma, you constantly get ill. You don't know what's wrong or how to get well. So these are a few reflections about how are we situated in life. How are we aligned with our purpose and with a higher purpose? Would anyone like to share from this short reflective exercise any experience which we would like to share with the group? Thank you. Yeah.
Some of the I could see some of the pictures of my mistakes which I went through my life. So it was like not in tune with the Dharma. So I could see a lot of yes, it was
Not always aligned with your Dharma.
yeah, everything not at all aligned with my Dharma. So it was
So good that you're here today. Thank you for sharing.
yeah.
Anyone else would like to share?
Just to say, Dharma, if for us it's very strange, like to, but because now we're speaking English, like say in Sanskrit, Dharma, we can say also duty, our duty.
Yeah, I like the word purpose for today, to use the word purpose.
Okay,
Yeah.
purpose. Because when you were reading this is always like connected with the duty. But it's good.
Thank you for sharing. Yes, Mike.
I found it's not like either or. It's like, I mean, some of it is you feel in Dharma. With some things you feel you're not in Dharma.
Yeah, we have so many areas in life, and we may be in different situations, circumstances. Yeah.
I feel like if I meditate about the purpose which is unique to me, I feel some freedom where I don't have to compare myself, not to be angry that I can't be somebody which is nobody, but being satisfied, you know. So I feel some satisfaction.
Being satisfied in yourself, you don't have to pretend to be someone else.
Yeah, to have that idea, you know, and also with the self-esteem and all these things, you know.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Very often they use as a translation for Dharma nature. So this is one of, they say, the best way to express the meaning of Dharma.
Yeah.
So it means that everything which we are doing which is not our Dharma is actually against our nature. So it's destined for failure.
Yeah, if you don't act according to your nature, you don't have the capacity and you will end in failure. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, thank you all. Very beautiful points. What do you think? But just by this experience now, wouldn't it be great to be always aligned with one's nature, with one's duty and purpose in life? Definitely. But as you said, often we don't give ourselves the permission to do that because we compare ourselves with others. I think that's one of the major diseases of our modern time, that we compare with others. Social media certainly made a great contribution to that. Or we only live up to the expectation of others, which is called in science our odd self, like we are a little bit a strange person if you're just following the commands of others. So therefore it's important to come in tune, aligned with one's own values and beliefs in life. Now, when we speak about Dharma, I want to speak about three aspects of Dharma. Because, as we said, Dharma is something universal, a universal principle. And whatever is universal is maybe not so easy to grasp, to understand, because it has a complexity. Yeah? And in our Vedic philosophy and understanding, we have mainly three aspects of Dharma which we consider. Yeah? The first one is Svadharma. Sva means my own. So what is my own nature, my own purpose and duty in life? Then we speak about Lokadharma. What is my responsibility in society, in this world, in relation to others? And finally, we speak about Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma is that what connects me with eternity, my eternal relationship with God. You can think of these three aspects like a house. So every house has a foundation, has some walls, and has a roof. Our Svadharma is like the foundation with which we came into this world. And the walls, they give protection, like our values, our ethical behavior in this world. And Sanatana Dharma is like the roof. The roof connects you with what is above, our spiritual relationship. So as a living being, an eternal spiritual soul, we have to act in this world according to our nature. We are within a community, society. We are not alone here in this world. Very obvious today. Thank you for coming in so great numbers. And as a spirit soul, we have an eternal purpose. So this analogy of the house summarizes these aspects of Dharma. Let's go a little bit deeper in all of these three aspects. Because we want to make a difference here. As I said, if you're looking for self-help, we can go to the library or to the bookstore and get some wisdom from there. But here we're looking for a different dimension, how to align ourselves with spiritual principle. So Dharma is something which is given to you. You don't go to a university to learn your Dharma. Maybe you're going to refine it, but it's something which is given to you, which is given by God. Therefore, if you want to step into your Dharma, you have to connect with that force. You have to connect with the spiritual energy to find that alignment. Krishna gave you your purpose, and therefore Krishna is going to also reveal it to you. So the first principle is you cannot think yourself into Dharma. You have to act yourself into Dharma. I'm going to repeat that. You cannot think yourself. It's not a mental exercise. You have to act yourself into Dharma. You have to follow the principles of Dharma and act according to these. So how to do that? You have to live according to the Dharma Codex. And that's the fundamental principles for ethical living. And the description for this is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, where Parikshit Maharaj, he is in a conversation with a bull, and this bull represents Dharma. So how many legs does a bull have? 4. In Kali Yuga, unfortunately, only 1. Yeah. But this we put at a moment for the aside. So a bull has 4 legs. What are the 4 legs on which the bull of Dharma is standing? Can anyone help me? Please.
Truthfulness.
Yes, truthfulness is 1 leg. Purity. Religion is the whole context. Renunciation, discipline, yes. 1 is missing. Truthfulness. We had? So then purity is the last one who is missing. I just repeat them. Truthfulness, compassion or mercy, discipline and purity. Now, if one follows this principle, then the force of Dharma will protect that person. And protect in the sense that one moves forward on the strengths of Dharma in life. Are you all fine if I use the word Dharma? Have we, in the meantime, understood what's the meaning of Dharma? Yes, so I can use the word Dharma. So Dharma is a force which supports you in this life. And maybe you have heard that the Hare Krishnas, they're following 4 principles. And this is what scares most people away. Because maybe they're not so easy to follow. But if you understand the context, why we are following them, then we see the meaning, the deeper purpose behind. So how are these principles of Dharma connected with our vows, which we take at the time of initiation? Can anyone help me? Let's take the first one, truthfulness.
One of the regulations is that we don't gamble, in the casino, and also gambling in general. So if you do speculation, then we cannot be truthful. So they are helping each other.
Okay, so to be truthful, we abstain from activities like gambling. Yes?
If you are not saying the truth, then you have 2 identities. So it means that you cannot do yoga. So when you are lying, the yoga is kaput.
Inside and outside, 2 different personalities, no alignment.
You're cheating yourself, you're cheating others.
Yeah.
It's all.
So truthfulness is an important principle, and the vow which we follow in that connection is that we don't gamble. Gamble means also not lying, not cheating. Yeah. Okay, so we have the first one. What about another one? How about compassion? Mercy. Yeah, we're not eating meat, we're not eating fish and eggs. Why? Because the principle is ahimsa, not doing violence to another living being. It's a dharmic principle.
But
What?
compassion is also, if someone has a problem, something, it has to understand, to try to understand the person.
Mm-hmm.
Spend some time and to listen and to understand.
Yeah, to be available, to have some empathy in relationships. And also towards oneself, that's very important, self-compassion also. Yeah. What about discipline? Which of our initiation vows is connected with discipline? No intoxication. Why that? Yeah.
Because you need clear consciousness.
Yeah.
You connect with God is pure, you have to be pure, connection is not working because it's impurity.
Yeah, we want to keep our mind pure, we want to keep our external pure, so that we can follow the principles of yoga. Yeah.
If we are drinking and drugs and everything and go to party, then it's difficult to get up in the morning and do meditation, so it's not really helpful.
Okay, to live a regulated life so that we can
Discipline,
focus
yeah.
on what is important. Yeah, yeah. What about the last one, purity? One is left. Purity is related with the vow which we take that no illicit sex. Because it's also out of respect. Respect towards others, respect to ourselves. To keep ourselves pure. So these principles, they build the fundament of the Dharma house. Yeah? If we want to move into the direction of finding our Dharma, then these principles will support us, they will give us the strength. And it's not just on our own strengths, because they attract this universal principle of Dharma. That's Krishna's mercy. It's said in the Manu Samhita that one who protects Dharma is protected by Dharma. And one who hurts Dharma is hurt by Dharma. So we are connected with that principles, and according to the way we apply it, we get a certain response to it. It can be positive in form of protection, or negative that actually it hurts us also. Therefore, we follow, Srila Prabhupada calls them regulative principles of freedom. We free ourselves from negative influences in this world, or the impact of the three modes of material nature, by following these principles, to keep our mind pure and keep alignment with the superior, higher principle. Now I have a question to you. If this would be the last day, today, before you die, would you be doing what you're doing today? I think you all made a good choice to come to the temple today. So let's expand this question a little bit. If you stand tomorrow morning in front of the mirror, you just got up, look into the mirror, and you ask yourself, if this would be your last day before you die, would you be doing what you're doing today? Some say yes, some say no, some say maybe. Now, just do this for a couple of days. Some kind of self-assessment. Yeah? And if for a sequence of days the answer would be no, then I think you need some change in life. Yeah? Because it seems that what you're doing is not your essence, it's not what is really important for you. Which means it's not your svadharma, your own purpose, duty or nature which you're following. You wanted to say something?
Yes, thank you. The thought that came into my mind is that I should stop work then. When I would follow what you say, I should stop work.
Okay, now we have to make some conditions here that there is not some disaster developed from today's Sunday feast class.
It's just
Okay, so once we have clarity about what is really important for us, then the next step would be to go a little bit deeper into that process. Yeah, to reflect, to make some plans, and don't make some instant decisions which are maybe a little bit harmful for
It's a long time.
long-term perspective.
Yes.
Good, good, good. So sometimes it's time for a change in life, some realignment, realigning with our purpose. And therefore the principle of Swadharma is so important. You remember Swadharma, we said, is what is related with us, our own meaning and purpose in life. And we said there is something unique in all of us. There's a place in this world which only you can fill. No one else is going to fit in there. That's your unique place. You can also say that's your calling in life, which makes you alive. Usually there's a point in our life where some essential questions are coming up. For example, to ask ourselves, who am I? Or to ask, why am I here in this world? Or to ask ourselves, what is the legacy which I would like to leave in this world? It's also said there are two important days in one's life. The first one is the day when you are born. The second day is not the day when you die. It's actually the day when you know why you are born. So there are two important days in one's life. The day when you're born and the day when you know why you're born. And all of us, we come to that point where we're asking ourselves these questions. And that's the time of awakening, where we're looking for answers. And maybe to find one's own meaning in life, that's the most difficult thing to achieve. It's very difficult if we're doing first with the wrong mindset, and second, only with our own strengths. Therefore, it's so essential to align ourselves with the principle of Dharma, so that this strong force starts to act in our life. Now, what is the common attitude of the modern world? People want to have things, people want to accumulate things. Everyone works hard to live a comfortable life. And the principle is, when I do something, then I'm going to have something. And when I have something, then I'm going to be someone. Which means the identification is with the externals. Whatever I have, this defines my personality. The risk is that gradually one is losing oneself. Like, for example, if you cut yourself in the finger, you have some pain. And it pains immediately. But if we're losing ourselves, if we're not taking well care of ourselves, then this is something which happens very slow, something gradual. Until one day you wake up and you say, oh my God, how did I land here? What's wrong in my life? So this is the risk, and we see like the rise of mental health issues and so many problems in this world. Why? Because people have lost their purpose. So much focus in the externals. And therefore we said, we're going to take a different turn. We're taking the road back to our spiritual roots. So therefore what we require is a new value system. I'm not speaking now in general about whole society. Let's start with ourselves. That's already a task big enough. So what we need is a new value system. To change this do have be paradigm to the be do have paradigm. To be means you are okay, you are satisfied with who you are. As you said, you don't have to identify yourself with other people. I'm okay as I am. Of course, I can improve myself, but I stick to myself. I know who I am, What are my values? What is important for me? I don't have to identify myself with other people. And once we come to that position, then this gives us a lot of strength. There's a beautiful pastime in the Srimad Bhagavatam where an elephant and a crocodile, they started to fight with each other. Now, usually the elephant is more strong than the crocodile. But the fight happened in the water. And for which of the two animals is water the right element? For the crocodile. Who else? Therefore, the crocodile gained in strength while the elephant became weaker and weaker. And it seemed he was just about to be overtaken and killed. So we have to bring ourselves into a position of strength by situating ourselves properly in this world. And for this, we cannot live someone else's life. We have to make our own choices. And therefore, this paradigm of be to have, this is the mode of goodness or sattva. Because in the mode of goodness, we can make our own choices. We can make use of our free will. We are not just programmed from outside. And this is conscious living. And this is what we are seeking for in Krishna consciousness, to make conscious choices about our destination. And as this verse which we read today said, no one will ever become happy to live someone else's life. Because we are unique. We have something very special to do in this world. And Srila Prabhupada said there's even a risk. Because what we have received when we came into this world is our karma. Now, karma binds us to this world, but in the same way, karma frees us also from this world, if we use it in a proper way. And therefore, when we act according to our karma, then it leads to our Dharma. Yeah? If we use the facilities proper which we have received in this life, then it puts us into the proper place. And then karma is something which liberates us. Yeah. So, first of all, we need the right mindset. Yeah. We have to start from ourselves and just for the moment give up these external identifications. Now, we are on the right path, and now it's about the deeper process, like let me take another turn. So in general, there are two paths for acquiring knowledge. This is something universal. There is an ascending path and a descending path. Ascending means I do it on my own strength. Descending means it comes from above. Now, both are needed. And there's a pastime where Krishna as Damodar was bound by his mother with ropes. Because he did some naughty things. I think most of you have heard it. So Mother Yashoda, she tried to bind that little Krishna. And she brought many, many ropes. But it was always 2 fingers too short. Yeah? And these 2 fingers, they represent one's own endeavor and God's mercy. So therefore it requires both. We have to make our part, and then we know that it's actually the mercy which we receive which will make the change, the accomplishment. Therefore there's a saying, pray as if everything depends on God, and act as if everything depends on you. Yeah. Pray as if everything depends on God, and act as if everything depends on you. So these two, they go together. Because by our sincere endeavor, we show to Krishna that yes, we are ready to make a change. Please invest your mercy unto us. Now let's just have a quick insight into these 2 paths. The ascending path, we said, you search for your answers. You make some efforts on your own. And the analogy is given with a monkey. If you have been in tropical countries like India, also in Brazil, we have a lot of monkeys. So you see, when there's offspring, the baby monkey has to hold very tight to one's mother, not to get lost while jumping over the trees. Yeah. You saw that in India. Yeah. Suddenly, the monkey baby falls down.
Even sleep together.
Even sleeping. So. Which means this little baby has to make some efforts to hold. Yeah. But at the same time, having the faith that yes, my mother is there. So also we have to make our own endeavors, and having the faith that Krishna is there. For example, in the search for your purpose, there's some questions which may help you. For example, you all have some talents. So what is it that you like to do or what you're good in doing? It's good to know that, because otherwise we may be in an occupation which is a struggle, yeah, which is not really satisfying us. And for this part, maybe sometimes there are some tools from the self-help industry which could be supportive, but that's only one step, yeah, and that's not the essence yet. It just gives you some indication. And we said also we want to stay on the road of Dharma, which means to follow the principles of Dharma: purity, discipline, truthfulness, and compassion. That's maybe the most essential part to take home from today. That these 4 principles, they will put you into the proper position. That the strength, the force of Dharma can work in your life. Now, what about the other part, the descending path? Which means to receive knowledge from a higher source. Or it could also be a mentor, a guru, a teacher in your life. And the analogy which is given is the kitten, the little baby cat. Because, different than the monkey, when there's a little baby, the mother cat, she takes very well care. She uses her mouth, which she's killing the mice, the rats. She uses to protect her baby by carrying the baby all over. So in the same way that Krishna, he takes care, he carries us in our life. If we making the proper endeavor into his direction, then he can come closer to us also. Or if he feels inspired, motivated to come closer to us. And you know, Krishna is not so far away. Sometimes we have some kind of metaphysical understanding of Krishna. But Krishna is in your heart, and he resides there since eternity. In this lifetime, in previous lifetimes, and in future lifetimes too. So therefore, your best and real friend, that's Krishna. Because what about the friends in this world? If you don't give attention to them, they may leave you. But for how many lives we have turned our face away from Krishna? Haven't really given attention into our relationship with Krishna. And still Krishna, he accompanies us at every moment. And he's there. He's communicating with us. The problem is just we are too busy in our minds to hear him. Yeah. So Krishna within your heart is that supreme intelligence. He's observing you. He's observing your life. And he gives you the inspiration to go into the right direction. Now it's just about tuning in to establishing that relationship again. And Krishna, he is also the one who originated this whole principle of Dharma. So everything comes from him. Which means whatever he wants to reveal to you, he can do so. It's just about tuning in into the right frequency. And to tune in is actually very simple. Because there is a prayer. We have the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. That's our realignment meditation. And you may have your individual prayers also. I think the essence of our prayers is, please Krishna, act in my life, accept me again. Please show me the right direction. Yeah. And the magic is the moment you turn to Krishna, he's already there. Because the one who turned away, that may be us and not him. He's just waiting for that moment. And that's maybe the whole essence also about when we speak about Dharma. Because whatever we do in this world has a beginning and has an end. Therefore, that principle of Dharma should connect us with the roof of the house. The roof is Sanatana Dharma, our eternal occupation, our spiritual relationship with God. There was once a conversation between Yamaraj and Yudhisthira. And Yamaraj, he asked Yudhisthira, Yudhisthira, what is the most astonishing thing in this world? And Yudhisthira, he knew the answer. And the answer is very shocking. Because Yudhisthira, he said, the most astonishing thing in this world is that everyone has to die. People around you are dying. But still everyone thinks they are immortal. So we don't see the urgency of our life. And it's a big mistake to just act on the level of the body or the mind. We should use the facilities, our body and mind, to engage them in our eternal relationship with God. Because whatever we have accomplished is temporary, we cannot take with us. But that what we have invested into our eternal relationship, that's on the spiritual bank account. There is no loss. So sometimes it's good to be aware of our own mortality. And therefore this question which we're going to ask ourselves now for the next days, at the morning in the mirror, if this would be the last day before I die, would I do the same thing as I'm doing today? To be aware that we have limited time and therefore there's some urgency. Like, sometimes it's shocking because there's a certain life expectation which you have. And there may be no artificial means to increase that. And Prahlad Maharaj, he gives some indication how much time we actually have. Let's say here in Switzerland, here everything is very nice. There's a life expectation, they say, around 84 years. How many of these years have we spent as children just playing around? Having not... How old are you nowadays?
51.
Okay. So how many years have we spent not really focusing on our purpose, on what is really of value in life? Then how many hours do we spend every day with eating, sleeping, and just maintaining our existence? And then at one point there comes old age, with old age coming all the diseases, and it may become very difficult to really focus on our higher purpose. So therefore the message is the time is now. To take that urgency and really to put ourselves onto the path of Dharma. What is it that I really want to change in life, what I want to achieve in life? And we have the perfect toolkit. Our karma gives us all the facilities. And if we act on our karma, it will become our Dharma. And if we connect, or if we engage our Dharma in the service to Krishna, then it becomes bhakti. And especially, like, to really be alive, we have to be connected with bhakti, with our Sanatana Dharma. And therefore, this process here in the temple and at home, there are so many ways how to express our devotion to God. By coming together, by hearing, by singing, by offering artis to the deities. So there are so many ways to bring life, spiritual energy into our existence. And we have all the facilities, our body, our mind, is the perfect vehicle to use to achieve that higher purpose in life. So the message is that Dharma is not something which we can think ourselves inside. It's not some mental exercise. It's something which we have to act on. And the more we are connected with these three aspects of Dharma, Swadharma, Lokadharma and Sanatana Dharma. Swadharma, our own meaning in life, Lokadharma, what we contribute in this world, and Sanatana Dharma, our eternal relationship with God as a soul. The more we are connected with them, the more we are able to move forward in life. And the Dharma of the soul is to render service in a loving relationship with God. So Krishna is there, he just waits for that moment when we turn again to him. He's very eager for that. Thank you very much. I would like to stop here. Thank you for your attention, and please share some comments, questions. We have a few minutes left. Yeah.
Once I heard a series of lectures, and the title was "The Biggest Problem in Our ISKCON Society." And the topic was that devotees are not able to follow these 4 principles that we take at initiation, and also these 16 rounds. So my question is, I want to follow, but I feel weak. I'm not able to do it. Can you give us some help, some inspiration, how we are even able to follow these 4 regulations that we come to Dharma?
So your question is how to come into the strengths and having that that strength to actually follow these principles.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a saying, if you climbed a mountain on your own, then certainly it was not a very high mountain. Yeah. Because if you want to climb a big mountain, you need a team. You need a team who gives security, who helps with all the luggage which you carry. Yeah. So therefore, if you want to achieve big things in life, then we need combined strengths. And this is the purpose and the process also in this life, especially in this age, that to come together to practice your spiritual life together in the association of others, because that gives you strength, that gives you conviction. On our own, it's very difficult to maintain something for which we don't have the qualification yet. Yeah. So we find strength in the association of devotees. We see examples, we have the opportunity to share ourselves, to open our mind. So the principle is to practice Krishna consciousness in the association of devotees, and from there comes the strength. Yeah.
How to increase love while how to increase
I think it's on.
how to increase love while chanting, love for Krishna, love for the Vrindavan Dham and the pastimes and leelas and everything. How to feel that chanting and love.
So the question is how to increase the love in our practice of chanting, meditating. As I said, Krishna, he's there. He's seeing you in your chanting, in your endeavor, in your effort you're doing. What really attracts Krishna is our determination. Yeah. Because if we only chant when it feels good for us, then it shows that we're mainly doing it for ourselves. My meditation wellness program. Yeah. But if it's tough, it requires some practice, some determination, then we show our eagerness. And this is the moment where Krishna comes into the game, where he says, there's one devotee, yeah, who is very serious about re-establishing that relationship with me. I see she has difficulties, but I come and support her. Because on our own strengths, as we said, the monkey has to hold very tight. Yeah? But with Krishna's mercy, we can just let ourselves be carried. We still have to make our endeavor, but we know that Krishna, he brings the more important element, which is the mercy. Yeah. And then love can develop, because love is something which we give selfless. Yeah. So even if it's difficult, we continue to stay in the process to show Krishna, I do it for you. Thank you. Do you have any more questions or comments? Thank you very much for coming today, for giving your time, your attention. And as we heard, the program will continue. There will be a vegetarian feast, and there will be more kirtan from 7 o'clock on. Thank you for staying, and hope to meet you all soon again. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
His Grace Divya Simha Dasa Ki
Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Ki Jai.
जैसे